characters in the film Kiss Meets the Phantom. You said many times you didn't know what was going on. But what the hell happened to Anthony Zerbe at the end? Why was he so old and decrepit? Was there something we missed?
It was because the movie was over. It was one of those things where all of a sudden it was like, time's up, make them old. You know, I don't think anybody understood a whole lot about that film except that we got roped into doing it and actually had a lot of fun doing it. I mean, all things considered, there was some times where actually Ace and Peter weren't even in Kiss Meets the Phantom. We had stand-ins, stunt doubles, all kinds of people, because Ace or Peter would just leave. And we would have people show up. There were actual scenes. There's a scene in the Chamber of Horrors, or whatever it is, where we walk in, and I think Gene and I are in the front, and Ace and Peter is in the back, and Ace is a black stunt man who had a wig.
Can I get one of your picks, man? Sure.
I'll take a good one for you.
Pick me a winner.
You're on.
How'd you like being a teacher before you got into the band?
You know,
It never stops. Beat one.
I was, I don't know, deluded. I went through college thinking that social ills somehow were sort of my problem. So I wanted to teach in Spanish Harlem in New York City, but it didn't last long. I lasted 6 months, and I think we were rehearsing at that point. Or did we meet then yet? I don't think we'd met yet.
Also, I
was in your class.
I wrote a paper. I wrote a paper about you guys for my college English class, and I got an A on it.
Good for you.
I just want to say you guys are God, and history is the Bible.
Now wait a minute. Why don't you get us that paper?
We'll put it in
got a
Kiss
magazine.
Nation.
We'll put it in Kiss Nation. There's nobody to go through. It's just us and you. You got it?
I have the address in Middle Edge, and I have the other guy that was here.
Well, you can give it to Tommy Thayer.
Yeah.
I'll give you the P.O. box. Gene, why don't you give me your P.O. box to send something?
You know what? This is not a secret. Listen, you know the KISStory P.O. box that you've seen in ads some places?
Give me your phone number, Gene.
I'll give it to her, that's for sure. So P.O. Box 15097. It's right on the back of some of that stuff out there. The Kiss.
Didn't the Metal Edge interview that you did about these conventions, that has it in there? Right?
Yes, it does.
I have that.
Send it in, and we'll put it in the magazine.
Cool. Bruce. Bruce.
You know you can say it.
I'm here.
He's mute.
Well, ask me a fucking question and I'll say something.
Why the hell don't you scoot in so we can get a picture? We can't say you want to take a picture, man. Come on, man.
If Ace can't be in the band, there's no one better than Bruce Kulick to be in the band.
Yeah!
Because the song I literally saved my life.
Yes!
I was on drugs at the time, and the song I was the catalyst that got me off.
Cool.
Good for you.
That's great. That's great.
I gotta say this. It's always nice hearing something like that. But you know the secret. The secret is that you got yourself all this. And if you can point to the song, you know, waking you up, but you're the one that did all the hard work. I mean, it's nice to hear a song, and we appreciate it. But then you've got to go do the work. So you did it.
Hi, Kiss over here.
Give us the time. Okay, 2 o'clock.
I got 2 questions, one for Eric and one for the band. My question is for Eric is that how much time or whatever spent you did with Eric Carr, and how much you got to know?
I met Eric twice, and that was on Paul's solo tour at the Ritz in New York. He came down, and I went to see Kiss on the Hot in the Shade tour at Long Beach Arena in 1990, I guess, yeah, 90. So I got to meet Eric real briefly. It was just, you know, hi, how you doing? I never got to know Eric, but from what I've been told by not only these guys, but all of you guys, is that he was one hell of a great guy.
The question for the band is, what is the name of the dude right up for the album, and the cover that we've been publishing, you know, is that the official cover?
That is the cover. We don't have a title for it yet, but this album means a whole lot to us. About 7 months ago, we got ready to record, and we went into rehearsal and listened to the stuff, and we just didn't think it was good enough. So we literally spent close to 2 years writing this album, and it's not going to be anything fancy, and it's not going to be anything different. We're going to go in and record it in August, It should be out, I'd say probably November. We're going to try to rush it right out. And it absolutely is 10 steps past Revenge, but it picks up where that left off. Yeah. We know that you're expecting a lot from us, and especially the longer we wait, the better it's got to be. Nobody's going to be disappointed with this album.
This is the greatest powwow I have ever been to in my life. The KISS tribe will live forever.
Up to you.
I was 3 and a half, I saw a poster of Gene. Scared the shit out of me and made me cry.
Good job.
Because I'm so young, I'm one of the younger fans here, I'm only 19, I've never gotten to see you guys live or at a concert, because my mom wouldn't let me go. But I was going to ask you guys, which of all your tours was your favorite and why?
Good question.
Wow.
Well, Bruce has been with us 10 years, so perhaps from Bruce's side, I'll know.
Well, for me, I know it was real exciting the first time. I'm actually born in New York. So when I played the Garden, I think it was either the first or second tour when I joined, that was like, I thought I was, you know, went to heaven, and, you know, there I was up there with Hendrix and Jimmy Page and everybody else kind of thing. Very exciting, very exciting. Hey! No, I just meant the feeling of, I saw Led Zeppelin. In fact, Paul and I used to see a lot of the same concerts back in New York back in the, you know, 60s and 70s. So we didn't know each other, but we happened to see all these. So to be playing in a place where my heroes always played, you know, that was a thrill for me. In fact, I saw KISS there in '78. So that was a big thrill for me. What about you?
We've done so, I mean, at this point we've done so many shows. It's like, I mean, there's been so many great ones. The one that stands out, there was a great one in New York at Nassau Coliseum where we got our first gold album. And probably the first gold album is so much more important. You know, everybody says, wow, you've sold 70 million records and you've got 20 some odd platinum albums. But all I ever dreamed of when I was growing up was to get a gold album. So what stands out in my mind first probably is the show where we got that gold album. There's other shows where we played to 200,000 people. That's really great, but when you first realize it and fulfill your first goal and your first dream, that's pretty awesome. So that first gold album is the one that means the most to me, and the show that we got it at. Don't cry.
It was very touching. I think probably the most memorable KISS show, maybe at the Stone in San Francisco, because that was the first show I did with the band. But probably when we played the Richfield Coliseum in Cleveland, because that's where I grew up, and I'd seen so many bands and concerts there.
Us too.
Yeah. And so that's probably, you know, was a big one for me. And we also recorded part of KISS Alive 3 there as well in my hometown. So to me, that was special.
I've got to say, for me, the biggest thrill probably exists. Probably the very first time we ever stepped up on stage. Legitimately, we were 4th on the bill. The first record that hadn't even come out. It was KISS, Teenage Lust, Iggy Pop, and Blue Oyster Cult. New Year's Eve, 1973, in New York City, and we were on only for 30 minutes. And when we got through with that place, it doesn't matter who came on that night. We may not have been musically the best band that night because we were all nervous, but we went out there like we chewed them and spit them out. We knew it. When we walked off the stage, we win.
We're in touch with Ace. We had dinner with him. You know, we really don't get a chance to spend a whole lot of time together, especially because Ace is still on the East Coast and we all live on the West Coast. Peter's on the West Coast. But we had dinner with Ace in New York about probably 8 months ago, and he seemed fine. You know, I mean, it's no secret that things didn't turn out the way he hoped. You know, when he left the band, I think like Peter in some ways, they both believed that this was something that you could just recreate. You know, oh, I'll just put a band together and I'll be on top of the world again. And I think it's been very, very tough for Ace. When he played LA, he was opening for a guitar player named Robin Trower at the House of Blues. Called him up, wished him the best, told him that we couldn't come down to see him, but he's chugging along. I mean,
kicks out!
You know,
He certainly does, and that we have always been real clear about that if it wasn't for the beginning, and we said so on Kiss My Ass, the record, you know, we wrote a personal note, and the record company said, fuck's this. We just said, get the fuck out of the way. This is important to say. Ace and Peter are not with us today, but they're always going to be a part of the family. You may live away from your home, but you're always going to be part of your family.
You know, if you listen, all you have to do is listen to 10 of the new bands that are around, and you'll hear Ace all over those records. If it wasn't for Ace, a lot of the guitar players today wouldn't be doing what they're doing. Ace started it.
Peter Criss, I read a whole bunch of interviews and stuff with him, and he seemed like a real arrogant, high on himself type guy. Is he really like that?
No, I'm like that.
You know, Peter, you know, you got to remember, you know, we were with Peter just last week, and we were with him about 4 days ago. Peter's had a real tough time. He may have done it himself, you know, and drugs and alcohol just completely fucked up his life. And he's the first one now to admit it. And sometimes, you know, when you look back and you're a little bitter about what's happened, you know, the tone comes out, but there's no secret. I mean, Peter's a good guy, and, you know, I don't want to sit up here and say we should feel sorry for those guys, but, I mean, Peter's the first one to say to you, if you want to see what drugs and alcohol can do to your life, I mean, look, those guys had the world by the balls, and they let it go. And there's a lesson to be learned there, and they learned it the hard way.
Bruce, your brother Bob was on Paul's solo album. Did you ever perform with anybody in the band prior to joining the band?
Not before, when I wound up being on Animalize for a song, no. But I met them, and I always thought it was so cool that my brother played, you know, especially the solo record and a little bit on, I think it was Alive 2, he wound up on a couple of tracks. But it was a great way to obviously know these guys, and then when the call came to join the band or help out at first, it felt very natural, it felt very comfortable to get involved.
Okay, and people say they want Ace back in the band, but I think we got the best of the deal the way it is.
We've been doing a lot of stuff, especially for the Unplugged segment, you know, where we kind of figure out a lot of old songs, and I get to really have to like look at all Ace's solos. And the guy really did a great job. It's an honor for me to actually be in his shoes and be in the band. And for me, it's just like it's a great place to like kind of live up to and try to continue the band with the new music that we write and the new stuff. But all the stuff that we performed from the past, it's like I got to tip the guy, you know, my hat to the guy and say, hey, you played some really great stuff. So. It means a lot to me too. It means a lot to you guys. All right, thank you. I'm a 10.5. Okay.
This question's for Bruce.
Yeah.
Question for you.
There she is. Gene for the movies tonight, maybe?
I think she wants to star in yours, Bruce.
Okay.
I'll star in anything you want me to. Music and songs that you did learn from the past that Ace did play, do you have a favorite?
I gotta say, there's two things that I thought were always a challenge for me, and I always thought these are really great riffs. One is She, okay, some great stuff in that. I love playing that, and 100,000 Years, that one's really challenging. Some great stuff in that. I mean, just about every song, the solo really fits, and I always think this is perfect for the song. But those two always stick out for me.
A quick two-parter for both of you. Of the 20-odd albums of original material, which is the one that you would take to a desert island, and not necessarily the same, which is the one that you have the fondest memories of the creation of, if you could each answer?
First. I guess the first time always sort of brings back very distinct memories. Maybe you can all remember the first time you ever saw the band. I bet you remember who you went with, what you ate, who you ate, and so on. Whether you swallowed or not. But the very first record has very distinct memories. It's, I remember we were across the street from Studio 54. There was no Studio 54 at that time. We were in a place called Bell Sound. We were making $75 a week. We were on salary. We were in hock. We didn't have a pot to piss in. And we felt like the richest guys in the world. It was unbelievable.
And the second part was the Desert Island?
Very good view down there.
Desert Island, what was that?
So I'm sorry, the first record is what I would take to the Desert Island.
Okay, over here to Sorry, go ahead. I was just going to say I agree. He took the words right out of my mouth, literally. Same thing.
Come on. I can't grow tits, guys. Come on.
We know a good doctor, though.
I ain't pretty, talk to me.
No, go ahead.
I ain't pretty, talk to me.
He said, I ain't pretty, talk to me.
That's right.
Well, you don't have a mic.
I'll speak loud enough for them all here.
Yeah, but you got to understand, you're not being fair to everybody else who's waiting for the mic.
They're not being fair to us.
So, if you don't wait for the mic,
let them talk.
You'll be much cooler. All right?
I'll be much cooler. Go ahead.
Want to talk? Go ahead. Speak.
I've been kneeling down here in glass for about 40 minutes trying to hold your attention. Good job, Brother Beavis. You talking about one-on-one. I got a big brother, and you tell my parents about Kiss, and they'll say shitty diapers. Because that's how old we were. But I'd like to get back there. If you got pictures of us, you can sit in the closet on my drums and shit.
Please, give him a chance, please.
You talk about one-on-one, I got one that I want you guys to get on.
Okay.
My older brother. We'd like to get up there with some pictures or something, get back there and talk to you gentlemen.
Where is he?
Wait, bro.
What's his name?
Billy. He's at the bar.
What's his name? You know, before we leave, we're gonna make sure we're gonna hang with you. We're gonna play for a long time. You'll get sick of us. And at the end of the Unplugged thing, which is really going to be up to you, whatever you want to hear, we're going to hang. We're just going to make sure we take care of you. You'll be happy. So if you just bring, when we're ready to go, just bring your big brother. We'll make nice, as they say.